Hello and welcome to a special bonus episode of YXE Underground. My name is Eric Anderson and I am very excited to share a conversation with you featuring two wonderful people who you met a few years ago. Tenille and Lydia Corbett are mother and daughter who wrote a best-selling memoir in 2024 entitled Unremarkable: How Cancer and Depression Intertwined Our Stories of Grief and Hope. Their 2024 episode focused on Tenille's cancer journey, Lydia's mental health challenges, and how they worked together to tell their stories in the memoir. It was a really powerful conversation, and I've had many listeners ask me how Tenille and Lydia are doing. So, here is a bonus episode of YXE Underground featuring Tenille and Lydia Corbett sharing an update on their lives, and let me tell you, they have been busy. Tenille has started a pair of businesses. One is called Apothecare, which is Canada's first cancer support registry, and the other is called Early Shift, which features women-only pop-up dance parties that end early and are as much fun as you think they would be. Lydia has been traveling the world and formed a group in the city called Girls Who Like to Do Stuff, which is all about creating shared community and friendship for women. We talked about their motivations for starting these endeavors and how their lives have changed since the release of their memoir. Tenille also gives listeners an update on her health. We met a few Saturdays ago at Junior's Café on Broadway. The place was busy, as you will hear in our conversation, but we managed to find a table beside the large windows overlooking Broadway Avenue.
I'm Tenille Corbett, and I have coined myself as medically retired.
I'm Lydia Corbett, and I'm just living life.
How are you both doing? That's a very, very big question, but how are you both doing?
I'm doing really well. It has been almost 2 years since we spoke with you, Eric, and those 2 years have just flown by. We have certainly filled our time with lots of life and living life in the moment. And so far, we are both doing well. We're still living together. Lydia is still living at home, so we see each other all the time. And yeah, things are going well.
Living at home is okay. I'm trying to get away as much as I can. I try to steal my mom's car as much as I can. But I'm really busy, so I'm never really at home anyway, which is good, but yeah.
You both are very busy, and like I was saying before I hit the record button, I've had lots of listeners ask how you two are doing and what you're up to. And so it's been so much fun to observe and listen when you're on the radio or when you're on TV or blowing up Instagram and TikTok, all the things. Who would like to start in terms of what you have been up to? I'm looking at Tenille because Lydia's pointing at you. So since you wrote the book, what has life been like? What have you been doing?
Well, I'm sure your listeners would like to know a little bit about how I've been doing physically. So I went through 18 rounds of immunotherapy. My last one was in July of 2025. Since then, we're just monitoring, and I'm having, some scans and follow-up appointments, and things are okay. I still, I'm learning to live with side effects and symptoms that are my new normal. And, people reach out and give me advice and tips on how to manage some of that. So that's, as far as my physical well-being, every day is a gift. Yeah. Since the memoir got released, we had, a really good uptake of the book. I know that people are still reading it and passing it around and sharing the story and reaching back out to us to say that this was actually really inspirational to them. So I love hearing those stories. We got a lot of good reviews on Amazon. Not just from family and friends, from strangers out there that saw the book, wasn't scared by the title of the book, and read it. So we were really proud of the whole process and afterwards, right? We've still got the book out in some bookstores, and it's still available on Amazon. So yeah, we've kind of left that in the past a little bit. Lydia and I, we don't really do interviews anymore for it, and we don't really, join up in that way. and that's okay, because that was a period of time and what we put out there. And so if it finds its way into someone's hands who needs it in 5 years' time, that's great. That's great.
Is it like, I guess, what is it like in a way when you've written the memoir, and then you had so many, like, I remember your book launch was such an amazing evening and so many people coming together, but then, like you said, at a certain point, is it weird to sort of just let it go when it was so much a part of your life for a bit, or does it feel like, yeah, that's its time and I'm ready to do something else?
I can answer that. When we wrote the book, all of my friends that I have now weren't really my friends. Like, my 3 closest friends came to the book launch, but they were like so brand new in my life that they don't know the version of me from the book. Because I was like, when I wrote the book, and if you read it, I was really depressed and like sad and isolated and all of that emotion, and they don't know that version of me. So when I talk about the book, or when other people mention it, they're like, are we talking about the same person? Because you're so different now, which I think is great, and my friends are great, and I think they're a big part of that, so yeah.
Yeah, I think I've compartmentalized it, just having to not be, what's the word, like, you might have to edit some of this. I do have brain fog, so I'm always very nervous to get out and being interviewed and talking, because it has changed in the past couple of years, Eric. Like, I forget words, I'll stutter, I'll be like, what did you just ask me? How has it changed our lives, and what have we done? So yes, I compartmentalized it. I'm not spending time doing a lot of the marketing. I've just kind of, that gave me joy then, and what can give me joy now, and what's the next thing that I can do?
Oh, I love that. I love that, because as someone who loves like consuming art, and whether it's books or music or things like that, I do struggle sometimes when, say, a musician really, like, it's been 3 years and they're still sort of riding the coattails of a certain album, and I'm like, I want them to do something else kind of deal. And even though it's totally not my place to say what they should do, but I love that where it brought you joy in that moment, but there's other things that you want to do. So, Tennille, I could start with you. What else have you been doing then that is bringing you joy?
So following the book, I learned a lot of new skills about how to write and develop skills for self-publishing. So I decided to take a chance on a children's book. So I wrote the children's book, and I hired an illustrator off of Fiverr, right? And so this woman and I, we made the book together, and then I launched that. It's about our cat and dog, Remy and Conan. So there was that, and that was really fun. And then my husband Shane and I, we wanted to take a trip to Mexico, and even though cancer was a really big scare for us, we realized that this was going to be the first time that Lydia and our son were going to be left home alone, even though they're young adults. we didn't have everything kind of like sorted out as far as like our updated wills and things to share with them. Like, what are our passwords? Like, if the two of us didn't come home, what have we left our children? Like, what mess have we left our children with? And so I started to document all the things that I needed to have in place, right? Like, just everything, right? And you've seen those packages, like lists, like what you should be writing down. And I'm like, I want to write something better. And so as I was writing all of this down, I was sharing it with my friends, and they were like, you need to publish that. So I ended up publishing an end-of-life planning guide that I would have liked to have received, because it explained more about what each section means, right? Like I thought of it in the way that if my children read this, will they know what to do? Like, do they know how to get a hold of the medical authorities to the funeral home to like everything, right? So yeah, the uptake was really great, and I had an interview with Global Edmonton about that, so we had a little bit of uptake as well. So yeah, the publishing, and that's where it kind of ended. I'm like, okay, I've done 3 books, let's do something else. So
three books seems like a good. I just have and so I did 3 books, and then it was time to move on. I was like, oh my gosh, no big deal. That's amazing.
Yeah. So I was really blessed with a fabulous team from work, and they continued to reach out to me, and we would go out for coffee or supper. And at this time last year, February 2025, 2 of my former staff, we had gone out for supper. And they started talking about, we just want to go out dancing. We're tired, we still have lots of, kid activities. We're not bar stars like we used to be, but we still want to go out and dance. And we want to do it just with women. And I said, well, let's just do it then. And they were like, what? We can't do that. And I said, of course we can, right? There's something about your mortality staring you right in the face. For me, there's risk, but there isn't risk. It's like, we can do it. We planned our own weddings, we can do it. So they agreed, and within 3 weeks we had everything planned and booked. And when we launched our tickets, we sold out in 6 days. And it has become something that women want. They want community, they want safety, they want to have fun, and they want to go to bed early. So my partner Chrissy and I, we've journeyed forward, and we have launched Early Shift. So it is a pop-up dance club for women here in Saskatoon, and so far we've been able to secure all female staff, female DJ, women-owned businesses that are sponsoring and contributing to prizes. We give back to the community where we have prizes or donations that we give back to the Saskatchewan Cancer Foundation, the Shoebox Project here in Saskatoon. Our 3rd event is coming up at the end of February, on February 28th. And we have a fabulous door prize that if the women bring an item for the food bank, they can get their names entered into the prize. So we're always trying to connect, giving back to the community. So that has actually been the most fun. And Eric, if you would have asked me 2 years ago if event planning was on my bingo card, no. But the women are here for it, At our last event, we had 19-year-olds and 70-plus-year-old women all dancing together on the floor, and the women that were there just were free, and it was so great. And then at 10 o'clock, we turned on the lights, and they're like, good night, we're going home to bed.
When you say they're free, how do you know they're free? Like, when you see them on the dance floor, how do you know they're just like in the moment?
I don't know if you've heard the term the male gaze. So and women will be able to identify with this, right? So as women, you are not waiting to be asked to dance. There is no competition because there aren't men in the room. It is visceral, like it's in our DNA, right? If that's who you are, if that's who you partner with, right? So unfortunately, women felt safe to leave their drinks on the table and go to the bathroom and come back and know that it was safe. They felt safe just leaving their purses in the middle of the floor, and they dance in a circle around them, right? Because they could just leave their things there. I had a woman come up to me at the end of the last dance, and she said, "This is the first event that I have been able to attend with my cis child, and I love it." So when there aren't men in the room, it's just different. You can dance how you want to dance without being worried about what men are going to think if you are moving your body in a way that feels good for you.
So thank you for explaining that. Lydia, have you been to one of those? You've been to both. What has it been like for you?
I've been like a volunteer helpy kind of person, so I'm more like on the outer ring of the dance floor, and I can see that, yeah, like no one's checking over their shoulder, like on edge. Everyone's just like in the moment, but also in a different world almost. So it's really nice to see that.
You also mentioned too that there is, I love, because I think both of you have it in terms of like, if you have an idea, you just go and do it. But I'm so curious, like, why do you think so many people, both women and men, are so hesitant to, like, if they have an idea, it's like, oh, I don't know if I can do that, or oh gosh, that sounds like a lot of work. But one of the many things I admire about both of you is that you go and do it. And so I'm wondering why you think so many people out there are a bit hesitant or think, I can't do that.
I think people are scared of what other people will think if they fail. Like, they don't want, and I struggle with this too. I constantly think about what other people think, but I have to constantly remind myself, I don't care what other people are doing, so they probably don't care what I'm doing. You know, it doesn't really matter if I fail, because then I can just move on to the next thing. Like I won't be spending time doing that thing that failed because it failed. So the quicker you can just internalize the failure and move on from it or grow from it, the better.
And you know, when you're sitting in a conference or some sort of audience, and you know, you're sitting there and the speaker is asking questions, and somebody asks a question and you're like, yeah, that's the question I wanted to ask. It's kind of the same thing. It's like, if I'm thinking it, and if I would love someone else to do that, it's probably going to work, right? Like there's no failure in it because other people are craving that as well.
Nicely put, you two. May I ask about Apothecary?
Yes, yeah.
Where did the idea for Apothecary come from?
Apothecary came from, I think, the misunderstanding that I was feeling about a cancer journey. So I had a lot of support, and I still have a lot of support, but the support in the beginning when you are diagnosed with cancer is a lot, and it's overwhelming. But at the time, you are physically dealing with recovery and emotional changes due to the treatment that you're getting, and you can't really internalize it, or you are not able to be as grateful as you can be when everybody is surrounding you. And then people go away, right? And it's not anyone's fault. Life goes on for them, life goes on for you. And you know, nobody really talks about the financial struggles of people living with cancer over the long term, the financial struggles of family, children, how it changes your life, and not necessarily financial, but maybe just the support that's needed. Everybody's journey is different. And so I was thinking about a way to support people long term. So we all know about GoFundMe, right? And we know about, you know, you can e-transfer money, but again, that's money, and some people just don't like to give money. They want to give ways that suit them as well. So I decided babies and brides get registries. Why can't people living with a chronic illness, starting with cancer? So my story is the story behind Apothecary, where it is Canada's first cancer gift registry. I said to my husband Shane, I said, can we make this? And he's like, well, there's got to be something else out there. I said, there isn't in Canada. There's nothing. And it's 2025, and this hasn't been done yet. Let's do this. So Shane built the website and the registry, and I was responsible for networking with other organizations and companies in Canada to come alongside. So this is a nonprofit, and all of the items that you see on the registry, on the marketplace, we have an affiliate relationship with them. So when people add those items to their registry, when that item is purchased, Apothecare receives a small percentage back, and that's how we grow and fund our Giving Back program. The Giving Back program is where people who don't have villages to support them with purchasing things off the registry, they can apply to us, and with that Giving Back fund, we'll buy those items for them. So we're kind of like feeding ourselves in that way. But again, things aren't, a person's journey isn't about things either. And so I loved the 5 love languages concept by Dr. Gary Chapman. And I thought that's how we're going to frame this, the 5 love languages, because people give and receive in different ways, right? I am a words of affirmation. So Eric, every time you tell me how great I'm doing and like that, you're feeding my soul.
I do say that a lot when we text. I'm like, yeah, or I'll send you a message on Instagram. Yeah, I didn't know that. Oh, I'm going to do that so much more now.
You know, and I'll use the example of my mom. My mom is physical gifts. Like, she gets joy from giving gifts, right? And so you want to make sure that how you like to give gifts and how you like to receive gifts matches, right? And so we developed different ways to give within the Apothecare marketplace. So you can give physical items, you can give e-gift cards, because sometimes if people are traveling, right, they may need a gas gift card or lodging or, you know, skip the dishes. There's acts of service. So come and mow my lawn for me, come and shovel my walk, take my dog for a walk. Help me figure out all of the forms that I have to fill out. So if you have expertise and time, come and help. The other thing that is so unique about Apothecare is that we're one of the first nonprofits to have other charitable organizations and nonprofits on our platform. So, for instance, I have a registry, and on it, I have, in my honor, and do it now, not at my funeral when you read it in the program, donate to the Saskatchewan Cancer Foundation and go and give blood. Because when I was in the hospital, I needed blood. So those are the kinds of things that make it different than just a regular, you know, call out for something. And it can change over time, right? You can add items, take items off as your journey changes.
So that's amazing. No, that's you did a wonderful job of explaining that. Lydia, when your mom was coming up with this idea, like what was going through your mind?
Well, she told me the name first, which is Apothecare, and I was like, even if this whole thing blows up, that is like the best name ever. It was so good, and I was like, oh, this better work, and it is working. I think it would have helped me a lot, because another thing that you can do is, like, if your mom has cancer, you know, you can say, these are things that I need. Because, like, I remember when Mom was in the hospital, my teachers in high school gave me, like, a skip the dishes gift card. And that, I still think about that, because, like, that completely changed that time. And it was like not $1 million, but, like, that was the only way I could eat at that time. And people don't think about everyone else who is affected by it when someone's in the hospital. Like, you don't think about the kids or the husband or the friends or the family. But that is, again, a big part of it. So it's nice that Apothecare also extends into those categories as well, to help everyone that's affected by it, because it isn't just the patient, even though that is the main focal point. But yeah.
With Apothecare, when you started to reach out, like beyond Saskatoon and looking for people to get involved, what was the feedback like initially? And I'm so curious, like how did you pitch it to people?
It was cold calling people.
Okay.
I had, this little email that I, copied and pasted, explained the idea. And here's the thing. I needed the people before I could show them the registry. So it was pitching to them in the dark. And they loved the concept. And so within, I want to say, 6 weeks to 2 months, we had 40 businesses and organizations on board. And I'll tell you something else. So I needed to have gift cards, right? Because that is a way that you can give a gift that meets the people where they're at as well, right? So you could be giving a gift card to somebody in Vancouver, right? Like it all across Canada. And so I was like a dog with a bone with this company down in the States, who they have giftcards.ca. And Apothecare is the first Canadian affiliate of giftcards.ca. They believed in it so much, they developed that affiliate program for us here in Canada.
That's incredible. Wow. When you say you were a dog on a bone, what does that look like?
I emailed and I called and I emailed. I went through their, regular channels. I was looking them up online. I was like, who can I contact? And it was finally one man in Philadelphia, I think. And he, the email crossed his desk and he's like, whoa, guys, hang on. We got to look into this. And so we had Zoom calls and we had, contracts, and they set us up as part of their affiliate program here in Canada. And yeah, love it.
Well done. Well done. Thank you for sharing all that. Lydia, you have been very busy doing all sorts of things, but can you tell me about the group that you're involved with that has empowered you to go viral and showcase all of these amazing local businesses? And it's funny, like, we're here on Broadway right now because I thought that was one of my favorite videos, but tell listeners about Girls Who
Like to Do Stuff. So it's a non-profit, low-cost social club that me and some other girls who were pretty much strangers when we met started as a way to simply put, do stuff in the city, make friends, but not spending money. Yeah. I don't know. Everyone always asks me, what is it? I'm like, I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, what else do you want to know?
Well, why did you want to do this?
I can answer this question. I don't go to bars. This year I'm not in school. It's hard to and even if you do that, it's hard to make friends, especially with other girls with similar interests or different interests. And this is kind of bridging the gap of that, of like everyone has, I guess, when you go to an event, the one thing everyone has in common is you want to make a friend. So you're walking into a room and you already have one thing in common, and it's kind of just figuring out other things. And everyone is so sweet and everyone's so nice and giving, and yeah.
Can you explain to listeners too, because I thought this was really neat, when you went as a group, you went on Broadway and you just like popped into stores. Why? Like, can you explain where the idea for that came from and like how you pulled it off so well?
So I'll back up. Our biggest thing that we want to do is giving back to the community, and Saskatoon is so broad and has so much to offer, and a lot of people just don't know what's out here. A lot of people have just moved here or have never just explored. So that event was a Broadway walk and talk where we just went to each shop along Broadway and just hung out and met new people and talked to store owners, and it was great. It was like the coldest day of the year, but people still showed up, which was like shocking because it was freezing. But yeah, we've done a lot of events that are like really vast. So we've done like book swaps and flower swaps, which is like everyone brings a bouquet of flowers and then we like lay them all out on the table and then everyone makes their own bouquets. That's been a very popular event. We've done, let me look at my phone. There's so many.
While you look at that, I do think, because I recently did an episode with a group of people that get together once in a while, and they draw together with these really funny writing prompts or drawing prompts. And the idea is, I think, if memory serves, bad drawing, and you don't have to be a good drawer to go. But it is, I was amazed at how many people came together as a group, together as a community, kind of like what you're doing today with the dancing. I just feel like there is a strong sense of people wanting to come together, and I'm wondering, I don't know why that is, but like, do you, Lydia, with your group, like, do you sense that the women that come to your group are wanting that sense of community of it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's the biggest reason why people show up, and it's interesting because there's so many different ages. Like, I think sometimes we have like 16-year-olds talking to 50-year-olds, and they're just like bonding. And the thing that's so lovely to see is like everyone, it's called Girls Who Like to Do Stuff, and people are like, why isn't it like females? It's because you're a girl. Like, girls have that sense of youth and like happiness and joy, and that's evident there. And we had an event actually at Art Bar, and Nutana like donated a bunch of donuts, and everyone was decorating donuts. It was really sweet. And there was 2 women, and they were older, and they were like, we felt like girls again. Like, we felt like we were just like gossiping and having like a cute little date. Like, we felt young because we were like surrounded by that energy. So I think everyone's just looking for that youthfulness, girlhood. And yeah, we say like girlhood is a mindset. It's not like who you, like where you are at your life. It's constant. So yeah.
I also love too that like you, with your girl group, I so love the video so much because you just popped into stores along Broadway, which was great. And then, for example, this event at Art Bar, I do find that there are so many people and business owners in this city that are of like mind in terms of wanting to create community and build off a community. And that must be like, has that been, in the almost 2 years since I've done this with you, like, has that been nice and almost like interesting to see like just how much community there is in Saskatoon and how many community builders there are?
It's definitely like a double-edged sword. There is a lot of people in a lot of places that are asking us to come, but another thing that we do struggle with is finding low-cost free spaces. That's our biggest struggle that we have, is like collaborating with people who are saying like, yeah. That's the difficult part, is finding places to do it. Yeah. Never short of ideas, but it's yeah.
Tennille, has that been interesting for you to see just how the maybe community spirit sounds like too big, but like the just how many people out there are pulling in the same direction in terms of wanting to create community in Saskatoon?
Absolutely. I believe that the amount of women-owned businesses that have come alongside Early Shift has been such a great community builder, right? So we are building each other up. We're showcasing them as well, and I think that a lot of when you do that, when you share that community together, women will go back and be a part of that. Like, they'll go and shop where those people have sponsored the events because they're in the hall and they're dancing with them, and they're helping to create a really good event. So ours is a little different in that regard because ours is more of a profit making, and so there's that give back, the sponsorship, and then the relationship that you give back. So yeah, I think that the difference between Lydia's and my ventures with Early Shift, the dancing, and Girls Who Like to Do Stuff is I watch Lydia and her group. It is so effortless with the community wanting to come on board. For us, it's a little bit more like, peeking behind the curtain. It's like, what are you doing over there? Like, who is this for? So yeah, I couldn't be prouder of Lydia and her exec team for what they're doing. when Lydia has been either voluntold or volunteered to come and help out at the early shift dances, I was watching her and her friends, they're like 19, 20 years old, and they're, kind of like shuffling in the corner, kind of dancing, and the millennial moms who are like just, if we had speakers, they'd be on the speakers. There is such a difference in understanding the environment because Lydia and her group of friends, I call them the COVID kids. School dances weren't being put on because it was the time of COVID, and they're a sober crowd. They're not going out drinking, so they're not going to bars. And then the women, like my age, they want that nostalgia. They want to bring it back, right, to what they have, but they don't want the band to start at 1 a.m. So it's a great way to kind of meld those communities with each of these different environments and what we're doing. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think a big thing in my group is like people are wanting to try new things as well. Because, again, like I looked at our Instagram. We've done like Pilates, movie nights, like pajama movie nights at the Roxy, where we play like rom-coms. We've done like a million different things. Now they're all blanking again, but like a million different things, and it's all new. And I think that also helps with the scariness. I've been to a few events alone. And usually I have a whole exec team, like I have all my friends with me, so it's like we're not afraid. But the events that I do alone, I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are such soldiers. I know what you're going through. It's so scary to show up to these places alone. And I totally get that. So I try my best to like reassure everyone, like, you don't need to be afraid of us. This is a welcoming community. It's totally safe and fine. But it is scary doing stuff alone. And that was something, I also mentioned this in the book, that I was struggling with for a long time, is like just being alone was really scary. And like, I think Girls Like to Do Stuff has helped me with like public speaking. Like our first event, Maria, my other like co-founder exec, is very good at public speaking. She can get up in front of a crowd so easy. But for the first like couple events, I was like in the corner. I'm like, oh my gosh, Maria, I don't know how you're doing this. But now I can just like easily go up in front of a big group of 50 people and just make an announcement like it's nothing, which is interesting that I don't really think about it anymore. Or even just doing stuff out in the city by myself, or like going to Europe by myself is like just stuff I can do now because of this group and how much I've grown and how much it's helped me grow. So, yeah.
I find that so interesting because the first time I ever met you was when you were on stage singing ABBA and Mamma Mia in grade 12. And so I didn't realize that. I assumed when you were amazing in the role, I assumed that like public speaking, it's no big thing for you. So that's really, thank you for sharing that. But wow, that's really interesting.
Can I share the full circle moment for all of the listeners who bought our book, who bought the memoir? All of the royalties that we received from the book, we were donating to different organizations, but all of the royalties have gone to Lydia. And so the royalties that Lydia was accumulating in her bank account, she was able to go to Ireland by herself for 3 weeks last summer to visit her pen pal, who she hadn't met, and Iona, her pen pal from Ireland. They became pen pals when Lydia was in grade 9 at the beginning of COVID. And all these years later, that's how she was able to get there. So thank you to everyone that bought the book. Lydia was able to do that, and such a meaningful experience for her.
How did you meet her?
We met on TikTok. Actually, yeah. I meet everyone on TikTok. It was like a find a pen pal TikTok where it was like just say what country you're from, some things about you, like interests. And Iona and I found each other, and I say this to everyone, she is like the Irish version of me. We are like a match made in heaven. And yeah, when I've known her for 5 years online, and then I fly to Dublin, and I'm like, please don't be a 30-year-old man. Please don't be a 30-year-old man. And like this, and we saw each other.
Yes, please don't be a 30-year-old man.
And like we saw each other on the street. We ran to each other, and then for the next 3 weeks, it was like we've never spent a day apart in real life. So it was yeah, it was lovely.
You talk about the rom-coms at the Rocks that you put on, like that's like a movie script. Can I ask, where in Ireland does she live?
She lives in Belfast, so Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
So I flew to Dublin, and then we went up to Belfast, and then we kind of went all over. And Ireland is pretty small in comparison to Saskatchewan, so we drove from Belfast to Galway, which is like all the way across, and it was like a 3-hour drive. And I can't drive in Ireland because it's on the wrong side of the road. I don't have insurance to drive there. It's a whole thing. So Iona had to drive the 3 hours. And we had to stop like 10 times because she was like, this is the longest car ride ever. I'm like, this is a car ride to the next town over in Saskatchewan. This is like nothing for me. But it was interesting to see so many cultural differences that I've never experienced before because I've only ever been to like Disney World or New York, which isn't that much different than Canada.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I asked because I did my teaching internship in Ireland in a town just south of Cork called Carrigaline, and that was something so I spent a weekend in Galway, and from Cork it was like 2.5 hour bus ride, I think, something like that. And I remember some people at the bus stop or the bus station saying like, "Oh gosh, this is gonna be such a long trip," and I'm like, "This is nothing." And like you said, you crossed the country, and wow, that's so. But again, the confidence, and that's how does that make you feel as a mom?
I was really nervous to begin with, but it's all about letting Lydia live her own life, have those experiences, right? So we were nervous, and we had, find her location on her phone, so I knew where she kind of was all the time, and we FaceTimed, and it was a great experience for her. She came back a changed young woman, that's for sure. I see it. Yeah.
You've both been very generous with your time, but I do want to ask one question before I let you go. Both of you are so prolific in terms of coming up with incredible ideas and impactful ideas, and then executing the ideas. Do you allow yourselves time to stop and sort of reflect on things a little bit, or is it more just like go to the next thing?
I think I was reflecting too much, like especially in that time where I wrote the book. I was reflecting too much and I was getting too stuck in the past, and I think right now I just need to keep moving forward with the lessons I've learned and not so much like continuing to try to learn from them. Just like trust your gut, I think, is what I'm trying to do.
I don't think I've taken the time to slow down and reflect. I think if I slow down, I'll stop, and stopping probably isn't good for my mental health. I know it sounds kind of like a downer as we end this, but I think, being alone with my own thoughts, probably isn't the best for me in some ways. So when I see the joy and the energy that what I'm doing in any sort of artistic capacity is giving other people joy and love, that fills me up. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think the world of both of you. And so I'm so excited to catch up again, and I know listeners are going to be so happy to hear our conversation as well. Is there anything else I missed? Anything else you want to say before I let you continue on with your Saturday, as you both look into each other's eyes?
I can't think of anything.
Do you want the shout outs, like how to find us on like all of our...
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, Tennille, you can find Early Shift. So it's the pop-up dance for women. So at earlyshift_Canada on Instagram, or earlyshift.ca. That's our website. Apothecare is apothecare.org. That is the registry and website. Or you can find us on Instagram at apothecare_org. And I think that was it for me. Lydia.
I mean, the big thing I have is Girls Like to Do Stuff on Instagram. It's all one word. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Thanks for taking time on a Saturday morning to meet with me. Like I said, I think the world of you both, and I feel very privileged to get to catch up like this. So thank you both.
We love you too, Eric.
I wanted to say I love you guys, but it's like, does that sound okay? I love you guys too. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you.